Hi there, we just went live. This is my dog, Orc. Orc, talking to Orc on Piz O Wells live stream. Um, to RMJ movie reviews to everyone out there. Please enjoy the channel, Barbecue Network. Um, just watched and interacted with Cole and everyone there at the Sausage Factory, Piz O Well. Here we got a review of a movie, Bloodwork. A movie I never heard a damn other person talk about in the whole world. So Clint Eastwood, I believe, starting with Million Dollar Baby, and maybe another movie before that. But I guess Space Cowboys got really good reviews and did really well financially. But what I'm trying to say is he kind of crossed over into this other. Oh yeah, Mystic River. Mystic River is the one that Mystic River is the one that crossed him over. Gone from being just more of an actioner, boring drama maker guy. Because I think he made Bridges in Madison County too, and that didn't really flop with critics. But they could do their similar. Oh, it ain't like the book criticism that them film critics always like to levy at books. Well, no shit. The book ain't like a movie. A movie ain't like a book. It's the dumbest thing. I've read a lot of these books too that they're talking about. They'll go crazy and say Bonfire of the Vanities is one of the worst movies ever made. No, it's not. It's a really, really, really good movie. They're not thinking straight when they're taking the context of the book in terms of their criticism of whether or not they like the movie or not. It's just the stupidest point you could ever make. Oh, it's nothing like the book. Really? Genius film critic. Bonfire of the Vanities the movie is nothing like the book. Oh wow. You mean to tell me you're going to adapt that book as written? That would be one of the worst movies ever made. As it is, turns out to be a very, very interesting movie. People can judge it as they want. But the way that they try to bully up on that movie. So anyway, they're trying to bully up on Clint Eastwood in the 80s, 70s, and 90s. Um, you know, I can name about 8 or 9 directorial movies. One, The Rookie. So that's a reason to maybe bully up on him. Obviously, one of his worst directorial efforts. I think he would even acknowledge that. I don't know if he would or not. I don't know. I don't know what kind of guy he is, but okay. So if we're gonna talk about his directorial efforts, I think you got to put in the top half A Perfect World, even though it didn't get any award recognition. I think it stands the test of time. Obviously and clearly, Million Dollar Baby, perhaps his best work. Unforgiven, definitely his best work. I mean, probably people would say that's number one. Then Million Dollar Baby. But who knows? I don't know how people would rank them. But so after he makes Unforgiven, he kind of goes into that never world, like I'm trying to talk about. And then he gets back with more critical acclaim with Mystic River and with Million Dollar Baby, then his World War II epics, Flags of Our Fathers, and Letters from Iwo Jima, I believe. Then he's got The Hereafter with Damon that, kind of made a lot of money but didn't make much sense. And The Changeling, which came up a little short. Had some interesting performances, but I think it came up pretty much short. And then you got kind of a gap, Gran Torino, and then he hits with The Mule this year. So The Mule got all sorts of people to talking about how good this is in comparison to his other works and all that. I would say Mule's pretty mid tier of Clint Eastwood work. And I would say The Gauntlet, where he directed his Sandra Locke, and it's basically people betting on whether they're going to die on the road by these mobsters trying to hunt them. That was a pretty cool movie and very similar to The Mule. I don't know why I didn't see that in any critics' review. Maybe because no one's got a memory. No one actually sees movies. I'm not too sure. I can't really tell you. But The Gauntlet is criminally underrated by Clint Eastwood. Sudden Impact, criminally underrated. Doesn't even seem like a Dirty Harry movie for the most part. Just one of my favorite movies of all time. Then you got, so my issue is in the 90s, I didn't know what the difference between true crime and blood work was. True crime, I own that too. I'll do a video about that soon. But Bloodwork is remarkably different. Two completely different characters. Bloodwork is, of course, based on a book. I did not know that prior to starting this, but basically, this character here that Clint Eastwood plays is a character named Terry McCaleb, profiler. He's a profiler, and he is very closely related to that Titus Welliver character Bosch. That's the Amazon show, I believe, and very closely related to the Lincoln lawyer played by Matthew McConaughey. So I think they really lost a great crossover opportunity to put Clint Eastwood and McConaughey in a movie together with that Bosch guy. I'm pretty sure that that could happen, but they're just that will never happen. Um, but what could happen with that? That would be really pretty cool. Um, so that's Terry McCaleb, and this movie Bloodwork is well worth reviewing, well worth seeing. Is it going to be? I mean, something that you're gonna remember for weeks? Um, no, because I just saw it recently, and I'm thinking about rewatching it. I don't remember all the details of it. That's just because I see a lot of movies. Brian Helgeland. That's why I paused earlier. I was thinking about if I should even mention that. Brian Helgeland, director or writer, he adapted the screenplay just fresh off of LA Confidential. So I'm trying to think how to describe it without revealing anything about it. It's basically he's a profiler at the end of his run, basically. Kind of like how, I mean, he's got some characteristics of still being kind of a fighter type guy, like in Dirty Harry. But he's mainly just like a profiler guy. And he benefits from some transaction, let's just say that, where the person who is, someone that's no longer with us in terms of the movie or the plot, gives something to him that helps him out, and then he's got to pay that forward in a way by figuring out who actually killed that person. So that's the plot, and he's been involved in serial killer profiling, and some case haunts him. So that's what it's about, and about those two things and all that. What happens with that? I think it's a pretty cool story. Would kind of maybe would have benefited from not having Clint Eastwood play the role, because when you see it, you're keeping it to expect what's it called, what he's gonna do, but what his character has done in different movies. This actress is hot, and she does a great job in it. Wanda de Jesus, a Hispanic woman, I believe of Mexican heritage. Paul Rodriguez plays in it too, and Paul Rodriguez is involved in the special features. The Doctor is played by Angelica Houston. I think she does a pretty good job with the limited role that she has. Dylan Walsh. Gosh, I gotta rewatch it again. Dylan Walsh, Tina Lifford. I think they do all right. Honestly, the most memorable people. Oh, Jeff Daniels. Very, you gotta check out the movie and check out Jeff Daniels in it. Needless to say, that's pretty important. Production is designed by Henry Bumstead. I thought he did a really good job, actually. I think the production design is the strength of the movie. I think Mr. McCaleb, he lives on a boat in the film. I think they did a really good job with the whole, um, I don't know, working with the docks, making sure that, they get good access, good filming, and the boats that they use look very authentic. Um, the production design and all aspects of the movie look very authentic. Um, Made me want to check out this character, this Terry McCaleb. Maybe they can go back and maybe do prequels to him. But anyway, Bloodwork flopped, and this was like at the very end of his Unforgiven bump. He got a bump from Unforgiven. Oh yeah, I'm in the public eye. I won Best Director. Look at me. Look at me. Then he makes like Absolute Power, which kind of flops and wasn't good. It came out like in February of some year, maybe like 97 or 98. I remember seeing that one. And then when he makes like Space Cowboys, yada yada yada. This and True Crime, Blood Work, True Crime and Blood Work, people probably. I mean, I'm not probably the only one that people don't know the difference, but in that one he's a reporter, and this one he's a profiler. In that one too, there's some tragedy that happens at the beginning. It's pretty shocking. It sets the plot in motion. I'll just say that much. Uh, so anyway, this has been a good live stream. So again, it got 2 thumbs up from quote unquote Ebert and Roper. Been watching some Roper. You know why? Because I've been watching all those Eberts, and I like to just rewatch some of the old Ebert and Roper reviews, see what they were doing back then and all that. Because obviously, you know, Siskel passes. There's still several years where Ebert's active, and then Ebert's actually replaced too at one point, which makes it pretty macabre or weird because there's actually contract holdouts and reasons that he wasn't on the show at some point. It became what we called Roper at the movies, I think, at one point. I don't remember whole sequence of stuff, but I was thinking about dedicating some time about all the Siskel and Ebert stuff I've seen. And basically, if you talk about any other genre other than horror, they're not like spot on or anything, but they're a lot more accurate. You know, I mean, sure they knock some action and sci-fi movies, but it's pretty cool to see when you line up with the Siskel and Ebert, they hit like a fine. Obviously, when I disagree with them, but it's not like I have to stop watching them or be like, oh, because they, you know, were so rude about Betsy Palmer for um I don't ever hold that against them. I think they're really entertaining, and for a half hour every week they basically slog through all these movies through all the years. I mean, some movies are good and some are bad. They saw through a lot of bad movies, and they got paid for it, and they talked on TV about it, and like no one will. I mean, they're the Michael Jordan of movie critics. So whether they're bad or good at what they do or what they, you know, whatever, they were the Michael Jordan of what it was or what it is. But now, you know, obviously YouTube can replace it, and we've seen that occur where all that matters is, you know, someone in social media or some celebrity posting that they're excited or they like the movie, and the movie will gross so much more money or get so many more award recognition and stuff. Like, oh my gosh, guys, you gotta go see this movie. It's so politically relevant and all that. I mean, bunch of BS going on with the awards and all this for all time, but it's probably at its all-time high. I mean, I don't know. But I wanted to do this review of Bloodwork, the 2002 movie. I will post my review of True Crime and some other Clint Eastwood movies in the next couple days. Someone's watching live. All right, we're talking about the Bloodwork movie from 2002, I believe, discussing about whether or not basically his character Clint Eastwood plays in that is in the same universe as Titus Welliver plays on Bosch, and also the Lincoln lawyer Matthew McConaughey character. So how this movie succeeded more than they would have possibly done something combining those characters that exist in the Michael Connelly novels. Didn't have any previous knowledge of that prior to seeing this movie. In fact, as I was watching the movie, I kept thinking, wow, this is a pretty cool story. I wonder if like Mr. Eastwood and Helgeland came up with this on their own. But it did start the collaboration between Mr. Helgeland and Mr. Eastwood. And Mr. Helgeland and Mr. Eastwood, good lord, for Mystic River the next year, they would quite be formidable, or you know, make themselves even a better combination. I believe they went on. I think he may have done the adaptation for Changeling, whether that was based on a book or a novel, or an article. I don't quite remember. But hey, anyone out there watching, go ahead in the live chat. participate. Let's see if I can write something there. Say hello to everyone. Some messages are not visible. All messages are visible. Let's see who's out there. Okay, Orc's on my show. How you doing, Orc? What an honor. Let's say hi to Orc. Well, I don't think I can type in Orc. Hello. Let's put on the Bloodhound here. Let's see how she's doing. I say hi. Yeah, that's a good dog. Oh, so Orc, how you doing, man? I'm watching doing a review of the movie Bloodwork. Clint Eastwood, of course, the Mule. Everyone was talking about that. I'm living in the yeah, yeah. She's a good dog. She's gonna be talking here. Yeah, so great to talk to you. And the Great Sausage Factory, I enjoyed. I met Cameron. I did some videos with him several years ago where I would talk about movie news and such. But I got a lot of great movies here. We're reviewing Bloodwork. It's an interesting. The guy from Dumb and Dumber, Jeff Daniels, he does a pretty good job in it. And also, strange seeing Paul Rodriguez in a role with Clint Eastwood. Um, is it a great movie? No, but it's a pretty untalked about movie. Did you grow up in NorCal or in Southern California? Well, good work. I grew up in a town called Altaloma, which is in Southern California. So yeah, I might as well just tell you some of the stuff I was telling. So basically, from the time I was involved, like from 11, I started calling all sorts of radio shows, and then became a guest and production coordinator, story producer for all sorts of radio shows, from not necessarily coast to coast, but shows that preceded that, and then all sorts of psychotherapist shows, different shows. I started out as a caller. Then from there, uh, it's funny, someone in the chat mentioned Morton Downey Jr., but then I started basically creating content, stories, and actually acting and appearing on all sorts of talk and news TV shows, fake news, basically. I basically helped 2020 and all sorts of major news magazine shows fabricate news stories. So, as you could imagine, my good friend Work, my story has been quite in demand the last couple of years from Hollywood. I found it to be kind of a strange existence there the last couple of years, getting interest from people to get like my life rights bought for a film, and their payments that they were trying to levy towards Young Barbecue Network here were not deeming, proper payment. So basically, I came out here to save some money and try to make some movies here on my own, and bring my hound dog here, of course. So yeah, I got some cool new Blu-rays and DVDs in here this week. Um, Pretty excited about that. But yeah, just going on about my story is kind of more self-involved than uh, anything, basically. Because basically, from the time I was 17 on, I was traveling to New York, and obviously being in LA, but traveling to Texas, Chicago, New York, all around the world, helping to create different content for different television shows and stuff like that. Couple times, things got to like over what do you call it? Or like, got pretty escalated. But anyway, how you doing today out there tonight? Work, I could show you videos of some of my work and stuff like that, but a lot of it's to the point that it's so proliferated. It's so many hours of content and things that have been used on syndicated TV shows, based from a current affair to Fox News stuff to you name it. So it's been a great life. Been a great life. What's your best role in movie? Um, yeah. Well, so to clarify, it's basically TV making, faking up the stuff. My best role. Make sure I get your verbiage of your question right here. Let's see how this works. Quiet down there, Bubba. Oh, my best role. Okay. So I had this whole there was a show called The Bill Cunningham Show. So I had them all convinced that me and these old people that I trained, about 4 of them are homeless people that I trained off the street, by the way. So anyway, I convinced them first that my name was KT, the Gypsy Prince from unincorporated Compton. No joke. So I went to New York, got paid $7,500 for 2 days, flown first class because I said I've never been on an airplane, and I thought that the gypsy gods would haunt me in, coach or whatever. I told these people that I was engaged to this black billionaire woman, and there ain't no black billionaire women. No offense to them, there just isn't really in the world. So anyway, I guess they fact checked the thing, but it wasn't overly out there, bro. Like the video is there, the video is totally out there. I on the TV show, I say that I'm trying to train rats and mice to run real estate seminars where they can run up to people at open houses and give them business cards and give them, specs about the houses that they're trying to sell for us gypsies. Um, so this kind of stuff, I mean, I've done so much of it. Uh, Basically, most TV shows in the last couple of years, as the talk show, I helped kind of change the talk show industry for what it's worth, syndicated news industry and all that. But definitely, the good question. That was my favorite role. I don't really know. I like that role. I had played another one. Another, I guess, second favorite would be um, where I played this guy named Eddie, the truck driver, and he was engaged to 8 different women and had all these different crazy stories. And on that one, I wore glasses I couldn't really even see out of, so I don't remember the experience. But and I know you wear glasses, and other people do too. But they're these crazy red glasses. No, I don't mostly act. I did start out acting, trying to do plays and stuff. I had this crazy religious what do you call him? He was overly Catholic. Me obviously being Jewish, he didn't really like me, and he was in public schools. I wasn't really overly religious or anything back then either. I'm not even now. But this gentleman, what was it? Anyway, he was a bad acting teacher. So by the time I was 17, 18, 19, 20, I started trying to do some roles. Never really did anything really in independent film that's even a credit. I think I'm in a movie as a bank robber. It's one that Jason Lee and the guy from This Is Us made. It's actually Rocky Balboa's son too, Milo Ventimiglia. He was pretty cool, but mainly my experience has to do with getting paid from uh, getting producers to believe like the reality that I create. You know, it's pretty crazy, and you can see why the people want me to have my movie made or whatever. But no offense to them, they're not offering enough cash, and I want to control. Obviously, I've controlled the dynamics of my life and controlled the dynamics of the stories that I've created. And had they offered, money for screenplays years ago that I've written, that would be all kind of different. Um, so yeah, I mean, it's similar to something like in True Romance. It's very similar to Catch Me If You Can. Um, like Catch Me If You Can, that movie. But it's nothing like that's not on the up and up. Nothing I did was, anything more than just trying to like have some fun over the phone, and then ended up creating, a whole world of itself. At one point, I set up like a room of people that all they would do is just call and attack different news and talk shows with various stories and yeah, with ideas. I would just attack with ideas, like call these people up and say every one of these ideas that are, tell these people that I found, hey man, you guys just call, make up these stories that I made up, and you just keep insisting that they're real, and then you let me worry about like finding the actors to stage the, crisis actors, for lack of a better term. You let me find these crisis actors, you let me find these people to fill these roles. And the reason I was so motivated to do this is like, the whole movie industry, someone like me is trying to control or has ideas to try to do things a little bit different. They were like, oh no, you can't do casting, you can't do this and that. So, I haven't made as much money as all those people, but I have work I'm more proud of. Um, and hopefully it will turn into something on its own. When they were offering me only like 25K for my story, I was getting pissed about how much am I shooting my next film for? Great point, man. But there's this thing in Arkansas that they're paying me back 20% of everything that I spend. So what I'm actually going to be spending is 120,000, but it's going to be that I'm going to be getting back 20,000. So my thing is that I'm working through all this. I've already filmed some trailers for these films. I'm going to start editing them and putting them on the site, probably on or the YouTube thing or my own site, depending on if YouTube still likes what I'm doing. They used to shut my videos down for quite a while. So put them on either a website or on YouTube. And then I'm thinking the eating room, if I can just figure out how to do the effects um, pretty cheaply, it would be pretty cool. And it would be a unique movie. My goal is to try to make the eating room, the projectionist, try to, not trying to see what my net worth, but I'm trying to see how serious I are. Oh yeah, yeah. It's been a huge part of my life. I'm really serious about all this. The real reason I'm in Arkansas is to actually just save money to make these movies. And I was actually just even though I was doing all this, man, I had other jobs through all these times too. So I've had um like what do you call it? Where you got two or three other jobs, I guess, at the same time. So it's been pretty fun. Yeah. So that was the review of Blood Work. Um, I got involved in mm, kind of find actors and actresses. Yeah, out here I already have. That's what's so interesting is like I figured out, when I was in Hollywood, everyone was wanting to do this union shit all the time, and like they wanted all about the money and all about like how they're gonna keep going. Yeah, it is pretty cool. I mean, I literally just picked out a place on a map to move in this country. I mean, I was gonna move to another country, and I may still do that, but like I was like, I never lived in Arkansas a damn minute. Been to Louisiana before. Went to this like conference a couple years ago, and yeah, it's crazy. I'm living right like on the border of Oklahoma. I didn't realize I was so close to there until I moved here. But I found a bunch of stuff. I'm always suggesting movies for Cole and what do you call him, Jay, to discuss on their show. And I'm thinking about. I can't really figure out the technology. Ozark, YouTube. Yeah, I've been there a couple times. I'm like maybe a half hour from the Ozarks. It's pretty it's not like a citified area, but not really, but I get it. Yeah, I'm close here. I mean, it's I've been to the Ozarks. I could post some of the photos and stuff. It's been great. Might take my dog there a little bit more. It's the one thing I had I drove around and I had a car in LA and all that. For whatever reason, I sold it. And since I've been here, I've just been trying to just save as much money as possible. And like, yeah, I rent um this Camry, and I had another Camry out there. So yeah, I might just buy. I know Piz has a pretty nice ride, but I'm thinking about buying this Acura or something like that, just because it will be a little bit nicer going around. So I'll get a nicer car when I'm here. But I don't really care. What films have I made? And do I have an IMDb? Nah. It's just listed as my name on there. So uh, they don't really can't take credit for every show and stuff that I've produced because these shows are still trying to be on the air. So if 2020 listed me as a producer or something on it, would be kind of a trip. But no, you can look me up though. The last name was Tar, Tarr, and then it's Kenny. Um, but yeah, I used to have it under Kenny Tar, but I decided to not necessarily be anonymous, but just kind of, the barbecue network. I want mine trying to take ESPN out of business in the future, in like 20 years, because like they tried to make all this heat about like some stuff I did. Basically, um, ESPN and Fox News Sports, they started paying me for getting news tips for sports shows, political shows. They all were paying me. Like from 2012, 13, 14, Eric Schwartz, all these different producers I can name. I mean, there's not necessarily like deniability about it. There's just, checks and cash and other payments. So anyway, they tried to make this whole heat about that. They were having the calls recorded, and they were telling me to record the calls. So yeah, they tried to make the whole thing. But I got to talk to almost everyone in the NFL or everyone who's anyone that had any executive or player personnel control. And then once I got into this really long conversation once with Hugh Jackson, who was the offensive coordinator of the Cincinnati Bengals at the time, and I was really into fantasy football. I was really into all this stuff. And basically, Ben Jarvis, Green Ellis, I knew had sustained a pretty big concussion just from like an amateur me viewing football as a layman. But the guy had a concussion, and I wanted to get it confirmed. So once I had a tape like that saying that Ben Jarvis, Green Ellis had a concussion from Hugh Jackson admitting it to me over the phone, and then he played, I think, on the next game, which was a big game, like on a Saturday against the Jets. That was a pretty big deal. And then so the NFL got kind of mad about it, obviously, because they had that concussion lawsuit. So the settlement for the lawsuit happened within like 9 or 10 months of a lot of the calls that I had been made public. So that was kind of interesting. I've had not necessarily, I've never been compensated as part of the concussion lawsuit, but basically I've had like these various widows and various people from the NFL that had like are familiar with the level of calls and the level of information that I got. A lot of the calls and stuff I was doing to entertain myself as well, and also to chase different hunches down about like where I thought coaches would be going and where I thought, this player or that player could be traded to. So if you're still with me out there, man, it's been definitely pretty crazy. I'm 38 now, so I've been doing this kind of stuff for most of my life. I've had other jobs as well, like I've been saying, but um, I definitely like balls out going after my passions all the time. So it's been pretty much a trip, dude. I got into hockey, kind of reporting hockey news and hockey reporting, and they've been pretty receptive. I actually have a pretty good friend that works for the New York Times, and I leak a lot of stories to him at times because I actually followed hockey for a good amount of time. And sometimes when I engage with Cole, uh, years past, we talked a little bit of hockey, but he knows quite a bit more than me. But baseball, football, basketball, I mean, I'm pretty able to get on the phone and talk to anyone in the NBA that's like an NBA reporter. Um, so I got kind of tired of watching the regular news and sports, as you can imagine, or news and stuff like that, as I actually became part of it. So it's been kind of a trip, dude. That's why I got really more into movies the last couple years. Um, because yeah, it's really hard to. I mean, obviously, all that stuff's fake as shit anyway. But like to be part of what or to see what they're really doing, because it was never any of my idea. They just knew that I was really good at it, and then that I don't know. I mean, they probably would like to get me out of the way. Like I've always thought that there's some hitman that wants to kind of quiet me down or something like that. But luckily, nothing like that serious has ever happened. There's been all sorts of like obviously they tried to bring some case against me at one point, and that may as well have been a hitman. Uh, so the guy in Big Lebowski that John Goodman plays, he's based on Milius, who's a famous director, and then John Milius has a son, and his son is like a total ass, and he became like this prosecutor guy, and he basically is on the payroll for the NFL. So he became like my antagonist at one point. So like obviously if I made a movie about my story, it would be yeah, it would be pretty cool. I'd exaggerate a lot of it though too, honestly, because it would be great to have it just go to like further adventures, obviously. Um, because there was a limit to what I could accomplish, or I can, or still possibly can accomplish. I'm set to go on the Jimmy Kimmel show on March 8th, but that's tentative. It's pending a couple different things. So, um, and that's actually they're going to talk about me after the show or whatever, but like, or they're interviewing me at I guess after I perform on the show, but they want to see how I've created something, like created a fake story on TV. So they want me to like create a fake court case on their show, because they're doing real court cases on the Jimmy Kimmel show now. I don't know, I don't follow that stuff anymore. But that's, I guess, how TV's evolved so much, is that those real court shows are now on the late night talk show. But I don't know, whatever. Bunch of bullshit. So let me go sit in the other room real quick where I can plug my camera in. So how long you been on the Sausage Factory, man? I think I've seen almost an episode. How long you been on that one? The show. I find it to be a very entertaining show. I don't overly agree with a lot of the takes though. You're a founding father. Okay, cool. Yeah, I think I've seen the early episodes. Trying to recall now. Shit, it's in all dark. What do you call it? I just saw Rob Zombie Halloween. Get up on the couch. Get up on the couch. Yeah. I just saw Rob Zombie Halloween, and I really enjoyed it. I gotta say, Rob Zombie Halloween, shocked how much I enjoyed it. I'm not even joking around. It's kind of a trip. But yeah, let me just set this down for a second here. I was thinking, I started going to some conventions. Be really cool if the Sausage Factory started going, man. But hold on one second here. Just gonna get some food. Hey, so I'm a pretty big fan of the Children of the Corn movies. Are you? Do you like the Children of the Corn movies? My goal is that one of these movies I make, these horror movies, or even the one based on myself, would be good enough that I could then like get to make a Friday movie. 1, 2, 3 are good. The rest, yeah, I agree, man. Why don't people give them more credit? I think 1, 2, and 3 are great. If I had to rank 1, 2, and 3, I would say 3. I don't even know if I could rank them, but basically, I don't like 1 as much as 2 and 3. I find 1 to be slightly overrated. Loved Creed 1, loved Creed 2. Very hard to rank. I think I kind of go more towards Creed 2. I'm kind of shocked how Rambo Raff don't like Creed 1 and Creed 2, but it's his opinion. You know, we can't ever discount someone's opinion. I really did not like the new Halloween. 1, 2, and 3 are great. Yeah, you know, I like 4 pretty good. Karen Black played in that, I believe. Naomi Watts. And then 5, I love that one with Eva Mendes. Yeah, that one's pretty good. Hey, be quiet now. That's one thing about my bloodhound. She likes to talk. Yeah, to talk. I think 6. I'm trying to remember 6. I don't think I like that one as much, but then I guess 7 is the one that kind of tried to reboot it, and I didn't mind that one. Just started watching the Final Destination movies. I'd only seen part 1 years ago. I find the ending of part 1 to be pretty weak. I find 2 to be 6 might have been Revelations, exactly. I find Final Destination 2 to be basically like a perfect movie. I really like it. Final Destination 3, some great parts. I love the tanning salon part. And part 4 kind of loses its own momentum a little bit. I don't know. I like it though. I like it. I don't love it. 5, I gotta rewatch it. I'm watching it right now. It kind of takes me out of it that they have this like the dude from Anchorman and all those kind of silly movies playing in a Final Destination movie. First, I like the people to be anonymous as hell. I like them to be like where you don't find them from shit. And you know, like who are these actors in Final Destination movies? They should never be well known. They had the Bubba Gump guy in it, and that kind of threw me off. Let me see if I can do this way. But what are you up to there in Maine, man? Hope you're having a good time. I've never been at man, my hand's in the way now. Damn it. Or my couch, something like that. shoot. I'm not too good with technology. I know that you and probably everyone else in the world is probably better technology. It's telling me to rotate the device, freezing my balls off. He says, "Yeah." See, I did consider going to like a state like Maine, but when I selected here, I can't say I chose incorrectly, man. It hasn't been colder than 15 degrees Fahrenheit here once. It's only been that like once or twice. It snowed maybe a day or two, not even a day or two. And so that's been pretty much, I guess, what the opposite of Maine would be this time of year. And the rent and everything's super cheap out here. Now, I haven't even moved in. This place is huge. So, I mean, I got a couple. Is Cali worth it if you're loaded? Yeah. If you're loaded, California is great, bro. For whatever reason, I just didn't ever get things all set, man. I mean, I could have cashed in on my story years back, I guess, and been like, oh, yeah, I'm here to just get an agent now, all that. There are a lot of nice southern states. I like most of them. Yeah, I'm thinking about maybe going to Alabama or Mississippi from here. Now that I like it, and now that I know it's not like how the South was back in the day. Because obviously, me being like how I am back in the South and today, I mean, I got a lot of friends that are black. I just can't believe the culture here. It's still racist as fuck, but it's not like how it was back in the day. So I don't really have any fear about moving to these states. They're cheap as shit. You know what I'm saying? Like from where you are, it's I'm real. I mean, it's I don't even know what Maine's like price wise, but um, yeah, I like sports quite a lot. I just kind of cut off my like daily viewing of them to save time, you know. So sometimes I look at the scores here or there, but there was times where I watched them all the time. Yeah, New York's the most expensive. See, I was trying to weigh the advantages of being in like cool variety of weather, and then this. I was about to pick West Virginia because there was like a house I was gonna rent for like seriously like $300 out there. Uh, Colorado, Maine is mostly cheap. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, I looked in New Hampshire a little bit. I really just looked for like 2 or 3 weeks, and then um, my dog, I brought her out here, and she's having a good time. I mean, there is a lot more. I mean, what does a dog know? But like, she went to see the most beautiful places in California, at least in Southern California. So it's like she's seeing some cool shit here. I got to take her to the Ozarks. I've only been there on my own so far, but you know, California with its natural beauty of Malibu and stuff, she'd be like able to go to the beach a lot. But there's a lot more rules. You know, she wouldn't be able to frolic around on every beach. But that's why we're thinking to go to Alabama soon, at least on vacation. Um, hey, so I was suggesting a topic for the show, the De Palma, like to talk all about Brian De Palma's movies, but like really in depth too, because like where everyone would see the De Palma movies and then you guys could all analyze them. I don't know what Southern State is like, but Maine and Colorado are cheap. Colorado, yeah, my cousin Jennifer, she lives in Colorado, and I don't even know if she puffs. I know that she did back in the day, but I don't know if she does. Uh, yeah. So the cheapest states I was thinking was where Rambo Raff lives is super cheap. I did consider living up in that area, but that area is cold as shit this time of year. So like Iowa, Minnesota, North Dakota, but it's beautiful. I think we did a De Palma. Uh, oh, you might be do that. If you already did it, my bad. I think I've seen almost every episode, but um, yeah, just going in depth on each movie because there's so many themes, and I find that movie Blowout is really about the horror genre, like at length. Obviously, it's about the making of a horror movie. The very beginning of it, the guy John Travolta is he's getting in trouble because he can't find the right scream for the movie. Maybe we haven't, but I just saw that. Yeah, see, I'm interested in seeing that documentary. The only thing is, Orc, that I think that De Palma can outsmart the interviewer. I think that he was doing a little bit of outsmarting of that interviewer. That interviewer is, oh gosh, what's his name? Noah Baumbach. And no offense to Noah Baumbach, but like, I've talked to him before, and I kind of like spun him for a loop. So it's not really like one of them things that, De Palma's a genius, like a literal genius. And to have what's his name talk to him, De Palma wants to kind of spin a certain narrative at certain points now. Whereas what I really like to do is try to find De Palma interviews throughout time, because at one point, because I think in the De Palma documentary, if I don't remember right, but they talk about Bonfire of the Vanities for a minute, and or like not a minute, but a little bit of time, and there's a kind of an apologism to that, like that they don't necessarily, I got to rewatch that part. But basically, when I see interviews from him in 91, 92, kind of promoting Raising Cain, Charlie Rose still trying to bother him about Bonfire of the Vanities. And at one point, Brian De Palma is like, "You can't do what I do, bitch." And it's the best. It's the best. He doesn't really say that, but that's his point. It's like, yeah, these dumbass movie critics, they wanted to see the book. I don't even know you were watching at this point. I did this whole rant, like an OCP type rant. Um, people, these fucking film critics, they're always saying like the book's nothing like the movie. Yeah, well, like, no shit. What book should be like a movie? A book's something you read, and a movie is a story. And everyone's always complaining about, oh yeah, I read the book. Yeah, I did go to Missouri. Let me tell you a story. I'll just finish this real quick. I'll tell you. I've never lived in Missouri, but I've been there, bro. And I'm gonna make a short film maybe about this story sometime. I'll tell you in a minute. But basically, the Bonfire of the Vanities De Palma movie. It would be really cool for you guys to analyze, or it'd be really cool for someone to analyze a little bit further, because when De Palma talks about it, people don't really want to hear what he has to say. They want to just try to label it as a bomb and that he misread what the book was about. And it's like, no, he didn't. He took the book to another level, that he took it in his mind, that he didn't think the book was close, whatever. It's a long thing. So, yeah. Check this out, man. I went to go visit my friend in Delaware in 2001. So, for whatever reason, I flew from Las Vegas to Washington, D.C., and then we like drove around and smoked blunts for like 2 weeks straight and ate food in Delaware and whatever, and whatever the fuck someone does in Delaware and Maryland. It was beautiful, but basically didn't do a whole hell of a lot. I went to some Civil War sites, and I went to the DC. So I flew back, and they delayed my flight, and I got a free ticket. So what I did is I started talking to this chick online, and she lived in Missouri. So I had like a couple days off from I was trying to go to college for some reason at that point. So I had a couple days off from that. I'm a neo-Nazi. Okay, no. Anyway, so yeah, so let me tell you the story, man. So I flew from Las Vegas to Missouri to go meet this chick that I met on the internet, and this is in 2001. So no one really knows much about the internet and dating back then and all this shit. But so anyway, just messing with you, obviously. Yeah. So no, I didn't know what to expect with this chick. She sent me a couple photos where she was like maybe 10 pounds overweight. So I didn't know, how people mislead, how, everyone knows, on the internet now, things you gotta be more careful. So I had an extra free ticket in my pocket. So I flew for free round trip from Las Vegas to Missouri. Now I saw a really cool Texas and Missouri college football game. I believe that was 2001, like October 27th, 2001. It was like the Halloween game, Missouri hosting Texas. Trying to remember, I believe it was Chris Sims as quarterback, Phil Sims' son. So anyway, that was kind of one of the highlights of the trip. But meeting the woman or girl or teenager or whatever she was, because I was probably 19 or 20 at the time, No, I was 19 for sure. I mean, she was my age. So meeting the peer, meeting this woman and flying to Missouri is the only time I've been there. So since I've moved to Arkansas, I haven't yet been to Missouri yet, but I do plan on going to Branson. Have you been to Branson? Have you been to Branson, Cole? Let's sit this down for a minute. Let me know if you've been to Branson. Have you been to Branson? Oh no, just messing with me. All right, cool. So that is that. Um, that's how I went to Missouri, though, man. That's what I did. I went to go meet someone I met on the internet. This woman, or this, you know, peer of mine, I was interested in, and I just didn't really like her once I met her. Not only is she less attractive, but she was like, I don't know. She wasn't stuck up. She was kind of like way nerdier than me, I guess. Like she was definitely a pretty big nerd, like compared to me at that point. So I didn't really have much to talk to her about. I found her to be kind of misleading, obviously, because I flew from Las Vegas, which is like the entertainment and fun capital of the world, to Missouri. So I felt a little bit misled. Um, but yeah, I've done a little bit too nerdy for me. Yeah, and the weight. I mean, no offense to her, but she was not 10 pounds overweight. She was more like something like a half a person overweight. I don't know, like pretty big. So, had I known that, that would have been had I known that in advance, that would have been that would have been no. I'm in Arkansas. Yeah, I'm in Fort Smith. It's like a I don't know. There's this racist ass town below me called Greenwood, but then I'm in like a real town here. Uh, are people nice or is it two faced kind of shit? Greenwood's pretty two faced. Greenwood's got a bunch of racists there. They got a toxic legacy of racism. Um, but where I live here in Fort Smith is pretty chill. I lived in Greenwood just to check it out when I first moved here. And it's pretty fucked up. If you're Caucasian, I don't care. Religion, that's more private if you get me. Yeah, exactly. Except in the crazy Bible or Torah or whatever I read, they tell us to wear that thing on our head all the time. It's kind of a trip, bro. So like I put it on a lot, but not all the time because it literally says to have it on 24/7. So then that's like, you know what I'm saying? It can't be kept privately if they're telling you to wear that thing all the time. And sometimes I like wearing it, sometimes I don't. So I wear it as much as I want, just because I don't want to be like in direct disobedience. No, dude, rip your face. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Exactly. Well, it's like I don't say anything about it in public, but like if someone wears it or someone sees it, then they know. But it's pretty annoying. I'll tell you this, man. All these Christians, they come up to me sometimes and they try to like convert me, or they don't try to convert me, but uh they try to no these things, the yarmulke, like the Jewish things. Uh, I'm not wearing it right now just because it's like late, but like them Jewish things, I'll wear it right now. Uh, them Jewish things, it's on there now. Yeah, I want to put one on my dog. Yeah, like a headgear. I don't. I kind of want to walk around with a football helmet on. Because the rule or the thing in the Torah just says that the head should be covered. Uh, yeah, just go around with a football helmet on. But the cops would be all mad about that or something. But like either a football helmet or a hat or anything like that. Anyway. Hey, what kind of food do they got up there? Do they got like diners and stuff, or do they got any like? Because out here, I was expecting them to have everything that I have in California, but they don't got no Korean food out here, bro. They ain't even know what a fucking Korean person is out here. They don't even know, like, they don't know that Korean people exist in this area. There ain't no Koreans. There's like some Vietnamese and stuff, but definitely ain't no Koreans. And there's also this Mongolian barbecue stuff I used to like out in California. They haven't got it here. But yeah, let's talk some movies. I got Insidious. Like I blind bought Insidious, and I don't like Insidious. So do you want it? Do you own Insidious? Do you own Insidious? If you do, or if you don't, let me know because I blind bought it and I really don't like it so far. I wanted to see like the evolution of James Wan and see all of his movies and stuff because I really enjoyed Aquaman. Did you watch Aquaman? Yeah. Oh, sorry, bro. Yeah, I didn't even know. I'll talk to myself for a couple minutes. Um, yeah, because I was writing in there earlier and it told me to not message or something. Because I guess I don't know. I don't know how this stuff works really. Um, so yeah, you got some good seafood up there. That must be cool. I'm not too far from Louisiana. Yeah, we just want to communicate. YouTube, you should calm down. But yeah, Mongolian barbecue is the shit. So should I succeed to the point that I could start some businesses, I probably want to bring Mongolian barbecue to these poor and uneducated people out here. Let me set this down. Well, what kind of dogs do you got, man? You got any dogs? My dog is a beggar, but a good beggar. Oops. See, that's that thing with the couch, this obtrusive couch pillow. Yeah, Cole seems like a cool guy. Cole was like a staunch defender of Halloween 2018. That show gave me I mean, those shows were hilarious, bro. When you guys all just start going off on like a movie or whatever, it's fucking great. I've had a Great Pyrenees and a boxer. Okay, yeah. See, that's the thing about dogs. It's like I love them so much. I wish they could live for a million years. A million years. And they have such an interesting spirit about them. Trying to get a pit bull boxer or okay, cool. Nice. Yeah, it's so interesting because like obviously I've been through had a lot of dogs too. Isn't it amazing to think that they have some spirit that animates them? I've really been thinking about that more. It's that like I'm not really a believer or anything, but it's like we have a spirit within us if you think about it because it's like how do they get each personality that they have? They're also interesting. I've never met like two dogs that are exactly alike. That's pretty weird. You know, I've been around like hundreds of them. I started to train different dogs, not train, but watch them. I shouldn't say I trained them. Observing in like being around all these dogs in Laurel Canyon because Laurel Canyon's like where all these celebrities and people are. So I became kind of friendly with some of these people, and then started like watching their dogs in Laurel Canyon. That was pretty fun. You know, definitely really pretty fun. Got to meet Kim Basinger, got to meet Sean Young, got to meet all these, women I've watched their movies, trying to bang from most of my life. Tried to, get with some of them, but it's the life, man. It's pretty fun. So really appreciate the viewership out there, and I'm thinking about doing some live commentaries of some more movies. You guys have done quite a lot of good movies that I like on there. I'm thinking about doing a Friday the 13th 5 one. I'm hoping to get Ron Sloan on. Ron Sloan, of course, played, I think, Junior in part 5. Became pretty good friends with him. I kind of left Facebook for a while, but I'm starting to reconnect with him. And obviously, I've talked to Deborah Voorhees. Pretty pretty frequently. I mean, I was talking to Deborah Voorhees a little bit more last year, but it's pretty cool, man. From like having no experience with Friday the 13th at all to like 2 or 3 years ago, I started watching the movies. Pretty much, I started just seeing you guys were talking about them so much, and I'd seen some of them, but really to analyze each one of them and get to know various people from the cast and get to know Peter Bracke as a good friend, uh, it's crazy. And he sent me the Crystal Lake Memories DVD set for free. I mean, autographed it and everything, and says can't wait to go because I'm planning a Friday the 13th themed convention. Not really trying to put it all together until probably 2022. So that would give us all time, money to be able to travel to it. Because basically, here's my idea for it, man. It's basically like recreate Camp Crystal Lake. I've looked at this abandoned campground out here. Obviously, there's some like in Malibu and some other places I was looking out west. But I'm looking, and if you know of any in Maine, if you know of anywhere like in a more central United States location, that would be great. And I only might even try to like not buy the camp, but make major changes to it for the time being, um, to recreate Camp Crystal Lake and have all these events, have Kane Hodder there, have CJ Graham there, have anyone else from the series there, and then also various events. And Larry Zerner has become pretty good friends with me. We're trying to like organize getting access or doing the wallet toss and all sorts of different stilly events from the different movies. So hopefully it could be like not only a convention but also like a vacation experience for people out there. And I know Piz went to the original Camp Crystal Lake, so been thinking about maybe using that location as well. But they have their own kind of stuff they're working on lately. Uh, so that's good. Cole and Jay show is pretty cool, but I was trying to come up with man, I miss B Movie Mike. It would just be cool to just like each week do like a live stream where he does a commentary on some old 80s or 90s or 70s horror movie or action movie. Have you seen all the Dirty Harry movies, man? I wanted to say of all the franchises, you said you were asking about who the favorite action one was, I think, or someone asked about that. But yeah, I think Dirty Harry Part 2 and Part 4 are quite good. Like the other ones are clearly good as well. I mean, Dirty Harry could clearly be the first of the series and best, but 2 and 4 are very entertaining films. Like they pop when you think about watching them. You're like, oh man, I want to watch that immediately. Um, Same with like I guess The Fugitive. Just some really good action movies. Not obviously I like the Lethal Weapon, buddy cop ones and all that. Oh, that was cool how Piz looked at those trailers. Piz a pretty cool guy, man. You know, it was crazy. I was watching Sausage Factory and Piz's live streams, everyone live stream, and it never occurred to me that there was a button to press live chat until like 2 days ago. Like, what the fuck? And I didn't even know I could live stream until like, what, 4 days ago. I'm always like, oh, why don't I see anyone's comments in the chat and why doesn't anyone talk to me and shit? But yeah, I've enjoyed the shows. What was the one? Shit, man. I think Cameron suggested that I watch it because I was doing videos with him 3 years ago, and I had already found OCP. I found OCP and Rambo Ralph already on YouTube because one day there's this movie called Pacific Heights. It's a Michael Keaton thriller that I recommend. I wanted to see someone else review it because I love the movie. And he did this like really thorough breakdown of the movie where he starts yelling at Matthew Modine and shit. I was like, wow, this guy's crazy. And OCP and Rambo, and then from there, I mean, I already knew about Cameron for years. I think I found about Cameron 5 or 8 years ago. I don't remember now. But yeah, I don't know what's going on. Have you been following Cameron's channel, bro? Like, I can't even figure this out. Like, seriously, there is some major shit going on. I like the guy. I hope he's like all right to come back to Sausage Factory. He pops in whenever he does. But there's some crazy shit going on where he is being trolled by, oh god, it's got this troll named James, And this troll named James is so crazy. He's like in England and he's like denying to Cameron. I don't know what's going on with it all, but like Cameron keeps making these videos where he's like, I'm never going to talk about James again and all this shit. And it's like, what the fuck's going on? And then obviously he's having problems with like his family and he's trying to like put the movie together and stuff. But I don't personally talk to Cameron as much anymore because I was letting him do his own thing with this Twin Peaks fan film and all this, but I think I'm gonna try to get back in touch with him. But I was just wanting to see if if everything's all right. So when I left Facebook, still viewing, but be right back. Oh, yeah, cool, yeah. Um, yeah, when I left Facebook, I've kind of lost track of what he was posting all the time and stuff. So, um, let me keep eating here. So, have you seen the Mike Tyson TV show or whatever it's called? Mike Tyson YouTube show? I think it's pretty good. Mike Tyson basically interviews, um, like Mickey Rourke. Think about that, man. Mickey Rourke and Mike Tyson. How do I invite you to join? Is there a button I can press where it would be video chat? I don't know. I'll try to learn that. What I do want to set up is that Patreon thing. Once I get more stuff on my channel. Because I think I'm trying to figure out how much people make on that stuff. I like that show where you guys talk all slashers. The slasher cast. It was like all discussion of all the slasher movies. I'm still viewing, but I'll be right back. Hang on. Okay, cool. Yeah, I think I'll just review when you get back. Jesus Christ. Yo, welcome to the live stream. I'm waiting for our friend Orc to get back. Orc is going to be right back. Welcome to the live stream. I was just going over some of my favorite Sausage Factory episodes. Sausage Factory is the show where the people discuss horror and action movies. One of my favorite episodes is when they just discussed all of their favorite slashers that weren't in the Freddy or Jason series. So I hope everyone's having a good evening out there. About to feed my dog some of these noodles. What's everyone's favorite late night snack? Huh? Anyone got one? Been live streaming a little while now. About to take some bong hits. All right. Yeah, we gotta get Orc to go up to Canada to go watch a hockey game, eh? right. Feeding my bub. All right. How's everyone doing out there? Everyone staying warm out there this evening? Has anyone seen any movies in the theaters? Anyone seen any new movies in the theaters at all? Is everyone having a good evening out there? All right. I'm such a good dog owner. I love to feed my Bubba. She's a good dog. She likes to eat. She's a good little bloodhound. Oh, yeah. You had a good meal. You had a real good meal. Be right back. Yeah, that's pretty dang. All right. And we're back with Orc. Orc's on the phone here. Orc, you like Seinfeld? I was watching some Seinfeld. I might put on a different DVD real quick. Pardon me. Hey, Pat. Go lie down, dude. Go lie down somewhere. Go lie down. Go lie down, Curly. Go lie down. Go lie down. Go lie down. All right. So if you're joining us, I'm going to do a little bit of the Memoirs of an Invisible Man discussion as I watch it here. Now, I love Memoirs of an Invisible Man. It is one of my favorite movies of all time. Have you seen it, Cole? Have you seen the glory that is Memoirs of an Invisible Man? Let me make sure my phone's plugged in. Look, man. Oh, man. What a joke. Why aren't chargers a little bit longer than they are? Phone chargers. Oh, man. It's kind of an awkward setup I got going on here. It's a pretty zoomed in thing on my face there, man. So, how's everyone doing out there? I'm going to watch the special features of Memoirs of an Invisible Man before we get started. Now, I believe that Memoirs of an Invisible Man came out in the year of 1992. And I believe it had a budget of around 35 or 40 million, maybe even 45. So between 35 and 45 million. And then it made only $15 million back. So the fact that I even have any special features at all, I'm absolutely denied. What's the word? Delighted. I'm delighted. That too. I'm delighted that I have what I have from this. Anyone give me a message out there in the chat if you're watching this. Let's see. Yeah. Hi, everyone. Oh, shit. I better turn the volume up if I hope to learn. I gotta tell you, man. It's a good movie, dude. I've heard some people not like the movie. About to have some Butterfingers, America's favorite candy bar. Whether it's true or whether it's not, America, or that's what Butterfingers should start claiming. Branding. Just brand themselves as America's favorite candy bar. Whether it's true or not. What do you think about that idea, Orc? Is that a good idea? Yeah. All right. About to smoke bowl. Orc, you out there? Hope everyone having a good night. So who's seen Memoirs of an Invisible Man? Anyone out there? I'm gonna post my interview of Stephen Tobolowsky soon. He really enjoyed working with Sam Neill. Sam Neill does a really good job in this movie. So I got a pretty my beard, gotta get it even more filled in. So what's up out there, everybody? We having a good night? Industrial Light and Magic. They did a really good job on this movie. Did you see The Predator? Uh, Orc? Did you see The Predator? I hadn't seen it. All right. Well, I might shut this down. I don't know. Is anyone out there? Hello. Ba 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 ba. Oh, hey, what's up? Have you seen? I was gonna do Memoirs of an Invisible Man, a commentary for that sometime. Have you done that one? Have you seen that one? Of all the John Carpenter movies, might sound crazy, but I think it's number one. In fact, I know it's number one. I love Big Trouble in Little China. Probably be number two. Uh, yeah, I know it's heresy. But I don't know, man. I find it to be really good. I don't really find any flaws to it. I find the comedy to work just there, and I think that Michael McKean does a pretty good job in it. T of the what does he say? One of the few that he hasn't seen. Oh my god! Well, maybe you could check it out, man. Oh, let's see if I can send you one. I used to have another copy of it, but I don't know if I have the extra copy no more. But it's good. If you get it, get the one with the special features. They talk about how the making of it, and it really is ahead of its time for the time. Industrial Light and Magic did the effects, and Daryl Hannah, she looks like a hot piece of ass in that movie. What's up, Kenny? Who's this? Jay the Stingray. Oh my God, what an honor! I got Jay the Stingray here. Well, not much. I was just talking to Orc, telling him about some of my travails or adventures in creating television. And radio since I was about 11, and been doing a lot of stuff in radio and TV. But now I just started sitting here and was talking about how I like Memoirs of an Invisible Man, and I think it's my favorite John Carpenter movie. Um, and I like Halloween. Obviously, like Big Trouble in Little China as well. But not much, Jay. It's an honor to talk to you. There's a chance I'll be on the Jimmy Kimmel show on March 8th. I don't have an agent, but I'm negotiating all the stuff on my own, and relocated over to Arkansas. So I'm a couple states away from you now. Used to be out in California, and then found it that could save a lot more money. People are in demand to try to make my story into a movie and put all this kind of twist on it and all that. So I figured I'd try to save money, make some horror movies, and try to figure out how to produce my own movie on its own. And once their offers get to be something more respectable, then maybe I'll deal with them. So anyway, yeah, from all that, not too much. I was just started doing the Children of the Corn 2 commentary last night, but the wind here kind of cut it off, and I don't know if all the audio worked. So I'm thinking about doing a Children of the Corn 2 and 3 commentary sometime soon. I'm very impressed with those movies, and I don't think Peter Brackey can announce it yet, but he and I started working on at least the groundwork for some kind of Children of the Corn, Crystal Lake Memories type documentary. So that's something that will be cool to look into in the next couple of years. I'm going to pick up his Valentine Blu-ray. Yeah, not any high priority, but I'm looking forward to seeing some of the special features on that. I checked out Mr. Pizzo Wells' live stream earlier. Really looking forward to a De Palma discussion show of either particularly, I believe you guys did on the movie pocket dimension of Blow Up, the Antonioni film. I would like to see Blowout. I'm going to try to do maybe a commentary for it sometime soon, just so I can point out all the horror movie references in it. Because to the naked eye, it could be like, oh, what? But like, it only took a lot of the horror movies that existed to that time and kind of made this melting pot of them. But was very influential on the whole slasher genre in the 80s going forward. So very interested in that movie. Went on this whole rant earlier about how movie critics are always so stupid, really. Like, they're always talking about how it's a book. Oh yeah, Bonfire of the Vanities, the book was nothing like the movie. The movie sucks. It's nothing like the book. Blah 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 blah. It's like, why should the movie be like the book? I mean, should have some basics of the story. I'll give you that, but shouldn't be anything like it. A book's something you read. It takes hours to read. A movie is going to do this and that. I find it to be ridiculous. I think I've talked on Twitter with you about the De Palma documentary. It's not that I don't like Noah Baumbach, but it's just he's of a different intellect to De Palma. And I definitely want to see not another De Palma documentary, but another documentary where De Palma doesn't have to chase his own tail a little bit. And some of these interviews with Charlie Rose that I've found with him from the 90s, and particularly talking about how Bonfire of the Vanities flopped when he's promoting Raising Cain, they seem to have wanted him to like sacrifice his son and say, hey, yeah, it died, it was a bad movie, mea culpa, and he just wouldn't do it. I find that to be very interesting. Whereas in the last 5-6 years, and even the bend of how I think Baumbach and everyone presents Bonfire of the Vanities, it doesn't ring true to me. I'll just say that. Because he wasn't like a staunch defender of the work that he made. He just definitely said that they don't like the movie because they don't like the movie. They don't like how it's not the book. because they didn't really ever review the movie. They just basically said this book, nothing like this great work of art. And that's because Tom Wolfe had already kind of leveraged the movie critics to hate De Palma and then also hate his work because of the axe to grind type shit that goes on between a writer and a director and collaborator. And me being on the tail end of a lot of stuff I'm dealing with, where I'm trying to fucking field offers from Gus Van Sant and Steven Soderbergh and all these motherfuckers. No offense to the language. I know exactly what they're dealing with, like firsthand. So Stephen King won't even talk about Stanley Kubrick's good qualities that he brought to The Shining. He just basically calls him a piece of shit. And I can relate to that in a way, but I think that that's crazy too, because it gives me more material for a movie. I think a King Kubrick movie would be pretty cool. Show about how much they actually hated each other and what went on during the set of Shining, where you got Jack Nicholson banging Stanley Kubrick's daughter, and you got all this shit that actually went on. I find that to be quite interesting film. So that's one of the films I'd like to make in the future. But anyway, what do you guys got going on this weekend out there in the chat? Anything out in the chat you'd like to see on the Barbecue Network channel? I got all the 5 Planet of the Apes non-James Franco series movies. So I guess that would be from the Charlton Heston one, and then it's 4 sequels. Really looking forward to analyzing those. I'll probably put the commentaries up for them by the end of next month. So that's what I'm looking to do, is give some more respect to Children of the Corn memeing. What's so funny is I don't really know. I know it's something that people do, and I know it's usually about like words or something, or like a meme. I'm still kind of at a loss for words in this modern age. Things kind of stopped for me technologically around 97. The fact that I can even figure out how to do any of this stuff, I mean, I basically can't. I was telling Jay, I was saying that I didn't even know how to use live chat till the other day. I'd watch Sausage Factory and be like, oh, how are these people live chatting? I think I would even ask sometimes in the comments and be like, oh, what's live chat? So yeah, I didn't know that. I didn't know how to do a live chat. And I didn't know how to live stream till the other day. So a lot of this stuff, when people are saying what a meme is, or the other thing that what the GIF is, or pardon my ignorance. But yeah, I'd like to see what a good dank meme is. A good dank meme, maybe it'll be like actually, I don't even know. I don't have that kind of mind. I'd like to see what a good dank meme is. Give me a good dank meme of Alita Battle Angel. I mean, is that something that someone would make a meme about, or is it something more? Because that didn't do too well. I don't know. I really don't even know what a meme is. I know how to create things on TV. I'll tell you that. I've done a shitload of that. I don't have the fucking mansion to show for it, but I definitely have the volume of stories. I've got a lot of different movies on DVD that I own through this time. My Father the Hero, I find that to be a pretty entertaining comedy. I might post a video of that soon. If there's a thing, there's been memes made out of it. All right. So then I guess then since for the V thing for John Carpenter, there's a V thing meme, I guess. Bernie Sanders is a dank meme. Yeah, I clicked on YouTube. I guess they're starting to run their political ads now. But damn, Jay, you're in my area. You're in I believe you're in the Central Time Zone, Jay. That's an honor to talk to you too, Jay and Orc, 2 members of the Sausage Factory live. Of course, I was saying, Jay, I've been on Cameron shows in the past. And Jay, are you following any of this Cameron stuff where like Cameron's got some guy on his show that used to be on his Twin Peaks Thoughts of the Day named James, and he's like hyper trolling Cameron to the point that Cameron had to dedicate like all these videos to talking about the guy. And I don't know. I can't follow it. I can't figure it out if it's like a fake feud or a real feud or what. But I don't know. I hope he gets his Twin Peaks fan film made. I don't know what people then had that I guess invested in it or they wanted to see it getting made or something. I can't follow it all. I just gotta say they're way too long winded. Way too long winded. If people are gonna be, talking, I prefer that they da 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 da. But with Cameron and these people on these shows sometimes, oh my god, Cameron was talking to the Twin Peaks thought got this British dude, and they're angry at each other, but they're not saying anything like I don't know. I guess that's what people with good manners do. But it was very polite. And then when Cameron would do this own video, it was so sad though. It's like, oh, this guy's just bothering me, and I don't know, something I probably shouldn't even care about. But when you get in your subscriptions and you start seeing like I don't even know. Some of the video descriptions have been kind of comical. Um, but hey, I wish everyone well. Sausage Family's all Sausage Factory. I've enjoyed watching all the shows. Looking forward to when Cameron's on. I really like this new guy. Likes original content. He liked Hellfest a lot. And I was about to see Hellfest, but then they pulled it from the theater right before, so I'll wait a little while. Y'all know who I'm talking about? The guy on the new guy on the Sausage Factory. And I'm friends with RMJ. Haven't done any videos with him, but I've been talking to RMJ on YouTube or whatever for a little bit. So I'm glad to see RMJ make his debut. And I ended up finding you guys through Cameron, so that's pretty cool too. I had already known about OCP and consequently known about Rambo Raft through some of OCP's videos. But I clicked on OCP's video to begin with because he was reviewing Pacific Heights, the Michael Keaton, Matthew Modine movie, and I really and Melanie Griffith really wanted to check out someone else reviewing that movie at length. And then from there, I just kind of found all the videos. Anyway, so how long you guys been before Sausage Factory? How long you guys been on YouTube and all that? Because I did some YouTube stuff in 05, 06, 07. But I don't think any of those are active channels, and I was even in this thing for filmmaking that LA Independent had out there, so I was on all these videos for a while. But yeah. Oh, let me start memoirs here, so I got something to look at here. Yeah, one of the main reasons I like memoirs is because of this hot piece of ass, Daryl Hannah. Let's just be damn honest. This is like peak Daryl Hannah. Peak Daryl Hannah. Or I mean post peak. I don't know about peak or post peak, but hot as shit Daryl Hannah. I guess I could do the math. She was probably born in this. What is this? Lori. Who's Lori? Let's see. What is that comment about? Work just said Lori. Let's figure out what Lori is. Lorne Michaels? Lorne Michaels. Talked to Lorne Michaels on the phone, but never met him in person. The Hellfest guy. Thank you, bro. Oh, there you go. Lorne. Yeah, man. He loves that movie. I want to check it out. Go lie down, dog. You can chill. You can chill out somewhere. You don't have to participate in this live stream, but if you want to, you can. I think my dog wants to do their own live stream. Lauren's cool. Yeah, I didn't know. So basically, yeah, RMJ has joined the show this year, and Lauren, and even what's that chap that I engaged with? I haven't heard from him in a while. He's only been on one show of yours, or two. Christian Hannah. Yeah, so I emailed with him here or there, but I hadn't heard back from him in a little bit. Oh, check out some of Lauren's work. Lauren's a pretty cool guy. I don't know. Let's see more of his takes and things like that. He didn't like one of them things that I do like though. But I don't really take any of that personally. Everyone's got their own tastes. Um, Nightmare on Elm Street 1 and 2. What do you guys think? Do you like 2 better than 1, or do you like? What do you think? Because I've been kind of beating it around in my head the last couple of days. You know, do you know mm, Montez? I don't know Montez. 1 then 2, but I enjoy 2. Yeah, I don't know. I think me too, but there's a lot of elements of 2 that I really like. Um, but Jay, let me do this. Can I get a real talk, Jay? Wait, how do you do it, Orc? Hey, Jay, can I get a real talk? Real talk. Let me try it again. Hey, Jay, can I get a real talk in the chat? That's hilarious. Real talk. Nah. But yeah, cool. Or check out Mike Tyson's YouTube channel or YouTube talk show. They already reached out to me because I contacted them. Can I get a real talk? Real talk? Real talk. Oh man, now there's so many movies I've been wanting to discuss with you all on the show. Have you ever seen The Edge, the Anthony Hopkins Alec Baldwin movie? It's kind of like a mid '90s survival story. I think it's pretty cool. Don't hear too much discussion about that. And then horror wise, oh, I mean, I like The Grudge. I really do. Most people don't like The Grudge. Thanks, Dreams. Thanks, Dreams for the win. Yep, love it. Cool Edge. Can I get a real talk? Can he? Yeah, real talk. Oh, that's pretty fun. Uh, but yeah, man, I got some herb here. I might take a little hit in the live stream. Watch it just like shuts down as soon as I grab my bong. Let's see. Boom. But there's a couple of Israeli film producers I'm trying to talk to online. Not today, but in the future. They've made a couple movies. I can't think of their titles, but I don't mind them. The Edge. Yeah, I like both the Grudges. I don't like the complaint that some of these film snobs have that the Grudge remake didn't use the sensibilities of the Japanese movie. It's like no shit. It's a remake. I'm tired of these people like if they don't like the movie on its own merits, it's fine. Be like, oh, it's a shit movie. It was actually a really like I don't know. I'd watch it again. You know that crazy looking dude is Tom Cruise's cousin too. His name's William Mapother. Plays the guy that's whose wife goes nuts in that movie. So what are the theaters like out there? I don't know. I'm trying to think how these theaters are going, man. Some people, if it's not for these comic book or these other movies, they don't really draw too well anymore. I don't know. It's almost like I see people going to these theaters sometimes. I'm wondering, are they really enjoying the experience or it's just like a tradition for them? I guess it's a combination. But are you gonna watch the Oscars, Orc? Jay, you gonna watch the Oscars out there? Any predictions for the Oscars? You know what I like on the Sausage Factory when you're at the beginning of the show, where Piz is like, "Is how's everyone doing out there? Has anyone seen any new movies?" I would, but I don't give a shit to be honest. Yeah, I like to watch them just to kind of lampoon them. I think you all did the like a live stream a couple years ago. I found that to be comical, maybe 3 years back. Um, so I was fixing to bet. You know, I like to bet sports sometimes. Fixing to bet on Bradley Cooper for Best Actor because like he's not nominated for Best Director, and I think it would just kind of I am glad Del Toro. Oh yeah, Del Toro, that was good. I would like if he have you seen the trailer on the Super Bowl for Scary Stories in the Dark? I guess he's producing that movie. So it's based on the popular children's horror tales. And the other night I was listening to the horror tales again. They're pretty scary, man. Some of them are pretty scary. They're like a page or two long. So I don't really know how the movie's gonna get done, but as far as like a Goosebumps type horror movie for children, I'm sure it would be good. Yeah, but I don't remember. Yeah, yeah, that's the thing. I didn't remember them too well either. Then hearing them on YouTube, I'm just glad, I guess, that YouTube exists because you don't have to go out of the way to like actually read and then just hear it, because I think the teachers that I had in school, they didn't read the stories as good because I used to think they were as scary. Um, but yeah, I really like Halloween 4. I really like Halloween 4. So someone in the chat earlier in that his stream asked about that. Um, oh, okay, you got to roll. Yeah, hey, our work. It was great to talk to you. Have a great night. Maybe I'll do a live stream or a show in the future. And peace to work. And I think I got one more person out there staying. So whoever's out there, go ahead and say hello in the chat. Yo, I'll invite you on a thing once I can figure out the technology, bro. Have a good night. All right. Anyone out there on the live stream? Yeah, I don't even know what time it is. Fixing to get a little late out here. Okay, so one person's left, one person's in the chat. That probably is just me. So anyone here in the chat? Let's see. I think I saw Jay pop in. Yeah, Jay popped in for a minute. He wrote, "What's up, Kenny?" So Jay, you in here? All right.